Welcome, my name is Oliver. I am a robot, but enough about me. This isn't about me, this is about Saul and Richard and video games and the universe. So come with us, or more specifically, with them. Enter the save state, save state, save state, save state, save state.
Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 12 of the Save State Gaming Podcast. My name's Saul, and with me again we have...
Oh yes, welcome, it's Richard Hornby, your old pal.
Hope everybody's well today. The weather outside is beautiful.
It's a bit too beautiful. I feel like I'm in a CIA prison being waterboarded.
Yeah.
Like in Guantanamo or something. I ain't got no secrets to give up, leave me alone.
Terrible, I know. Everybody's complaining about the hot weather. It's
the drizzling shits. But welcome to episode 12, the big one too. We're nearly hit puberty. Getting a bit of her downstairs, this podcast, isn't it, Saul?
Yeah, my voice is maybe going to drop this episode. Yeah, that should be good. But we're going to do an E3 reactions episode, aren't we, today?
We are.
What's E3, Chud?
I'm not sure. But a little Google, it's some sort of games conference that happens in LA once a year. Well, I'm being facetious here, people. We all know what E3 is. Basically, it's the biggest moment in gaming of the year. It's the WrestleMania of gaming, if you'll excuse the metaphor there.
Gaming Christmas.
Gaming Christmas. Yeah, that works. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. But, we'll get into that in a minute, obviously. But, how you doing? Everything alright?
Yeah, I'm pissing sweat. Well,
yes.
This is being recorded in a room in possibly the hottest day this country has seen in years and years and years. Yeah. In a room where we have all the windows shut because we don't want noise interference. So basically, we're 30 seconds in and I already feel like I'm about to start hallucinating. So this is going to be a real fun listen to, people.
Yeah, we're recording this standing up, so we might have to get a mop and just mop around the floor afterwards because it's going to be fucking pools of sweat. It's going to be horrible, dirty, filthy, just how I like it.
Just like Yeoman.
There we are.
Hey, how you doing, Sol?
I'm alright.
Sure.
Bit of a bad day at work, so on the way over here I was listening to some pretty brutal death rap. Just put me right in the mood to record a gaming podcast. So I'm alright now. I'm alright.
Sweet. Let's get to it, man.
The Hive haven't been on Earth in centuries. That wizard came from the moon.
E3 is quite a marathon, and basically it's a number of conferences. We're going to start from the beginning, start from the top, which always seems like the best place to start, I'd say. And we started this year with EA, I know they called it E3 then, with EA, which...
What's EA?
I guess it could stand for anything, really, couldn't it?
Enema Accident,
yeah. Electronic Arts?
That'll
maybe?
do. Yeah.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, we'll go with Electronic Arts. So the old sports giants... the conference was alright. It was nothing to write home about. They started off with Madden NFL 18, which I'm definitely going to be getting.
Yeah, big American football fan?
No, I just need something to prop the wonky coffee table up. You've seen
okay,
it, right?
Yeah. It's about I'm not a big Madden fan, to be honest. Don't really care that much about it, so probably move on from that.
Let's move on fast. Next, we're on to Battlefield 1 DLC in the name of the Tsar. Basically set in World War I era Russia, I believe.
Yep.
It looks chilly. We've got a really white colour palette going on there. That's all I can really say. It looks fun. I believe it's multiplayer only maps. Is it? This is the message I was getting from the branding.
That makes sense. For me, I love Battlefield 1. Probably won't go back and play the DLC. But I think for fans it'll be good,
Yeah,
a lot of people playing that game.
There are, yeah. I don't think the drop-off has been too severe. It's still still an immensely popular game. I don't think it's enough quite yet to bring me back in. I mean, maybe when all the DLC is finally out and they get a reasonably priced on sale, season pass, then maybe I'll jump back in. Maybe not. We've got the first real good heavy hitter of the entire conference, in my opinion. The first thing that got me really, really excited. A game called A Way Out. Now, what do you know about this game, Saul?
So I saw the trailer, which was really good. I'll let you talk about the trailer. But the thing that first of all just got me really excited is that it's by the same guys that did Brothers, which
absolutely.
I know you're a really big fan of.
I love this game.
I love it too.
I'm sure I've talked about it before. It was one of the only games I've ever just sat down for 5 hours and I've completed from beginning to end, and I had an emotional experience, an emotional journey, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, great game. So, and this just looks like a true kind of next generation upgrade from Brothers, you know. So.
Yeah, in a similar way, because Brothers, the way it worked, it had a very original gimmick, a very original concept, and that it was twin sticks, but each stick controlled a brother. So essentially, you had to control two different characters at once, which is incredibly confusing at first, but then you kind of get used to it, and then all these sort of mechanics from being able to control two characters at once start to unravel, and that's when with the story. It was marvellous, wonderful.
Could you play like co-op, so one person could control each one? Was that an option, or was it single player only?
Yeah, technically it's single player, but hey, I don't see why you couldn't do that. Of course you could. In fact, maybe we should live stream that sometime.
Maybe we should.
Yeah, we should like tie ourselves together and like have one.
Just
on each. Yeah,
that's a good idea.
We should do it for like
Well, we've got.
Can we do it for like a Siamese kids foundation?
Well, we've got a gaming marathon coming up, haven't we?
Completely right. we have got a game marathon up. Yeah,
we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that at another time. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So back to the game. A Way Out. It's about two prisoners escaping from jail, and the big crux of this is, I believe, unless I'm getting confused here, this game has to be played multiplayer. There is no single player. So it's couch co-op and it's online. So I guess there's going to be some real easy options to get a randomer to jump in and out of your game. So so that's quite interesting. It's basically trying to create the story of brothers, but between two people, trying to create bonds, trying to create friendships.
Yeah, like you say, this game looks awesome. Definitely like the first thing at the conference that made me, get excited.
This was E3, baby.
Yeah, and yeah, a really cool concept. Like you said, I love that idea of having to have two people play at the same time and relying on each other and having to work stuff out together. I think it looks really good. I can't wait to see a little bit more of that, but I think we've got a lot to talk about, so should we move on?
Let's move on.
Bob's Dollar Changing Service converts flimsy paper currency into long-lasting quarters. Try our 2-for-1 special. Send in $10 and get 18 quarters plus some nickels and dimes. That's Bob's.
So let's move on to the meat and veg of EA's conference this year. The highly anticipated, we're going to make good on our promise this time around, I swear to God, Battlefront 2. What are your thoughts, Sol?
Nah, not that bothered.
Not that bothered?
Not that bothered.
No?
Not that
bothered.
bothered.
A little bit?
Are you a Star Wars guy?
I'm kind of a Star Wars guy, yeah, I'm kind of into it. I'm happy, just like everyone else, that they're actually putting a one-player in there, because heaven forbid it's 2017, a game actually have a one-player component to it.
Yeah,
Jesus!
And that's the only thing that kind of intrigues me about this game, was that I like the first one, but for me the main thing was that I wanted to play a single-player, story, narrative-driven game in the Star Wars universe.
And you were robbed of that, weren't you, Sol?
I didn't get that.
You didn't get that at all. So this is a big make good. They're going to do that this year, apparently. In regards to the conference and what we saw of Battlefront 2, the goal at points, and the sweet fan service at others.
Yeah, I think I blanked out at this point.
You blanked out. Let me tell you all about it then. So basically, the goal. Over the years at E3, it's particularly known that they'll show gameplay footage that isn't really gameplay footage, is it? It's CG masquerading as gameplay footage.
Right, okay.
So Battlefront 2 actually opens with something which looks exactly like gameplay footage, but isn't. It's completely souped up, it's completely artificial, it's completely CG.
I hate that, man.
They did that to a T, but then directly after this, then they showed actual gameplay footage, which was a really bizarre thing to me. I don't understand why they did that. So they had the goal to do that in the same sentence.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, like, it gets pretty confusing, right? I mean, for the undiscerning eye, shall we say, you might not be able to tell what you're actually watching, whether it's gameplay or whether it's a pre-rendered movie.
Yeah.
Who knows, But, I mean, we can touch on that a little bit. Like, I think that should really stop. I don't like the idea of pre-rendered trailers. It is, yeah. I mean, and this is even a little bit different to kind of like Watch Dogs. Remember what they did? Like
of course, that's the holy grail of misselling. Apart from of course No Man's Sky, which basically got in so much shit that they got investigated. They got investigated by is it the British
Advertising Standards Agency
Commission over in Britain are investigating
Hello Games
and Sean Murray for false advertisement. I don't know how that ended up, but anyway, we're getting off track now. Back to Star Wars Battlefront 2. I will say two nice things about it. Obviously, they've got the one-player campaign there. They've also said, and I don't know if I misheard this or misunderstood this, the DLC will be cycling out in an exactly similar fashion to the first iteration. But this time, all the DLC will be free.
Yeah, I heard that. I think that's a really smart move. I think, by doing that, you're not kind of cutting into your own player base and dividing your own player base, because people can't play the various maps that you know,
exactly.
they don't have them. So I think that's a really smart idea. Like, I think the thing that intrigues me is, like, I think they've listened to a lot of feedback that they got from the first one. Something I didn't like about the first one was the fact that, you know how you can become heroes every now and again? It was always kind of a chase to get to the point, to get that power up. Whereas in Star Wars Battlefront 2, I think they've said that you now have to, like, earn it almost through scores and through kills, and then you get to unlock the hero character and plays them for a small amount of time.
But wouldn't that perhaps make the gameplay lopsided, because you're going to have to be good enough to get to that point, and if you're good enough to get to that point, you'll suddenly become OP?
Yeah, I get that, but I think I mean, you could say that for any first-person game, you know. For me, it was odd that they chose to do this run to the pickup point to become the hero. Like, for me, like, if you look at Call of Duty, you're rewarded with kill streaks for getting points and, like, chain kills and that kind of stuff. So, and that's the way I think it should be done.
Fair enough. So yeah, I keep doing that. Battlefront 2. Is it this year? This Christmas? Who
knows?
Come on, it's going to be out for holiday this year. It must be.
Yeah, exactly.
That's an educated guess, but if it isn't, you know us, we're your number one source of misinformation. Then next was a Need for Speed Payback game. So this is the new Need for Speed from the popular franchise. I think they're on like the second game ever or something, I don't know. Or maybe the 20th. Yeah, I'm joking. It's been around for like 20 years. It was one of the original sellers of the PlayStation 1, wasn't it? Like, is it 95?
It was even before that, when there was a Need for Speed game on like the PC, I remember playing it.
Maybe on the Saturn?
Oh, I don't know, man. But it's
been around for a long
time.
It's a long-standing franchise, and I like the look of this trailer. It looks really, really action-packed. It looks nice. I will say that it looks very much like Burnout. A lot of the slowdown mechanics from Burnout when you hit a car, and then it goes into a lovely little camera angle.
Well, like the crash mode kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Which is a bit weird because people have been crying out for Burnout, really, and that is an EA property as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to have their cake and eat it.
Well, the other thing about this, we're talking about Burnout, a bunch of the guys I think that worked at Criterion, that were the original developers of Burnout that have since left, have formed their own studio, and I can't remember the name of the freaking game, but they've basically made a crash mode game from Burnout. Can't remember the name of it, but basically the part that everybody loved about Burnout, crashing cars, destroying everything, they're making it into its own standalone game. Loads of different maps, but...
You're not possibly thinking about the next car game, do you remember that?
I do remember the next car game, but
yeah,
no.
It disappeared, that never came out, that was really weird.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but it's definitely different.
It was basically a car driving around its own car funland, smashing into things.
Yeah.
But Need for Speed Payback, it looks alright, I'm not going to get it. Make a new Burnout game, please. Everyone wants one. Let's get into that, really. And then next was the next big bomb of the conference. This was a new IP, and it looks fucking shit hot. Anthem by BioWare. Now, BioWare really need to pull the trousers back up after the whole fucking Mass Effect. After the whole Mass Effect Andromeda debacle. So yeah, this game, oddly enough, it really looks like what Mass Effect should have been. This game, it looks fantastic. It's people in space, jetpacks. It looks like a BioWare RPG, but with a much more heavier emphasis on action. And the graphics look stunning. It's beautiful. The world looks amazing. It does scream. It screams Mass Effect, doesn't it? But next gen, it screams true next gen Mass Effect.
Yeah, I think it looks like a really good crossover between Mass Effect and Destiny in some ways.
I can see that.
But in third person. And BioWare, so really, really happy. Let's see what I can pull out the bag. I mean, BioWare obviously famous for their RPGs.
Yeah, or getting pretty infamous at this point. They're just making one or two missteps and you get bad in the public eye, don't you?
Yeah.
So it looks fucking sick, and I'm glad we've got this as opposed to a new Dragon Age game, because I'm not really ready for a new Dragon Age game right now. That was cool. So that was the first conference. EA, how are we rating it all?
I think a solid start. Nothing really particularly mind-blowing. Some really good moments.
What about the Anthem and A Way Out? We've got to give credit where credit is due. It's just the thing with EA, and I know what you're feeling, it kind of gets watered down by all the sports bullshit. If you get into sports, then it's a hard sit-through, because there was FIFA, there was NFL, and that kind of takes away from shit that we like.
The other thing I like at EA, they're obviously a huge corporation. The way that they present their conferences are very kind of sterile, very corporate speak. Here's all the facts and figures of the amazing games that we've made, and it's not why I want to watch the conferences. I want to watch games at these conferences. I don't want to hear about facts and figures. So
I think the opening monologue from whoever the CEO of EA was, he was speaking in such business speak and such buzzwords. I think I texted you and our friend Martin, and I was like, yeah, it's the same speech every year, because it's interchangeable. It's the same bullshit speech every year. It doesn't mean anything. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you change the year from 16 to 17 to 18. Like, so. But anyway, shall we move on?
Yeah, well, let's do that. So next we have the almighty Bethesda Studios, makers of everyone's favourite Western RPGs, and they started
Redemption.
Whoa! So this guy, this wacky guy. So yeah, Red Dead Redemption, which was actually shocking by its absence.
I did not expect
not from this
that
Bethesda conference, because if you're not keeping up with Joakim Karud, so that's a Rockstar game. But I'm just mentioning that Red Dead Redemption 2 wasn't anywhere, was it, to be seen this year?
I mean, Rockstar never, ever go to E3.
They're too cool. Too cool.
They have no need. Like, they're such a big company with such big marketing power behind their games that they don't need somebody else's platform to advertise. Like,
that's true.
They would do better just to have their own conference.
Fair enough. So Bethesda started off with all you Switch people, you've got your dream. Once again, you get to play a 7-year-old game.
Woo! Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait to become Dovahkiin again for the 20th time.
To be fair though, I mean, it is an old game, but it's not Payday 2, is it? It's Skyrim, which is like one of the best games ever made, and playing it on the go could be pretty cool.
I agree.
It's not as if... I mean, think about it. You get to take Skyrim to the park, you get to play for 45 minutes, then your battery dies. It's going to be amazing.
But there was something that they announced, which was exclusive to the Switch, wasn't there? Which is Amiibo support, which everybody loves.
So we're going to get little Dovahkiin and little dragon statues.
Link as well, right?
No, I believe Link is a costume in the game.
Oh, okay.
It'd be weird if they had the Link statue doing things. That wouldn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, okay.
But it could be, I don't know. To be fair, I haven't seen any Skyrim Amiibos about, but Amiibo support is there, so you would imagine.
I know that you can definitely get the Master Sword in the game now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Master Sword is like a usable weapon. Which, yeah, whatever.
Sick,
fine.
I want to see, well, if they're going to do that, I want to see Link in the game. I want to see quests with Link and just weird Mario. Weird Nintendo references everywhere.
Yeah.
Why not? Because nobody's going to be playing this game for the first time. And if you are, then you're clearly a Nintendo fan because you've got a Switch.
Yeah.
So then, moving after that, we've got the first VR game, which I just think I've ever been truly excited about, and that's Doom for the VR. So this it looks like, and I'm pretty sure it is just the game that came out last year for consoles. Is it not?
It's a little bit different. I was watching the gameplay, and it's because Doom is such a fast-paced, like action-focused game. Doing it in VR will probably just make you instantly throw up. So what they've done is like a node-based system, or like a teleport system. If you're watching the gameplay carefully, when the guy was shooting, he was always stood in one place, and then he'd do a thing where he would jump, say like 10 meters in front of him to the next point, do some more shooting. So you're no longer, I believe, going to be moving around with the analog stick. It's going to be like a teleport kind of system.
How would you teleport then? How do you do that?
So I mean, I imagine it would be the kind of thing that you look at a certain point on in the environment, you press a button and whoop, you jump to that point.
If that's the case, that's kind of disappointing. Plus, that is also going to make you feel sick as well.
A little bit. I mean, people, with VR being a fairly new technology, people are still experimenting with it.
Sure.
Movement is obviously still a big problem, making people throw up inside of VR helmets.
Yep.
But this seems to be the approach that a lot of developers are taking with this kind of a node-based movement, if we can call it that. So same for like Batman VR did the same kind of thing. I think for a game that is so fast and so quick, I think this is definitely the best thing that they can do, the best way to approach movement.
Cool, that sounds awesome. So hopefully they'll nail it. I don't think they will, or maybe they will, but I still strongly believe it ain't ever going to take off.
VR?
Yeah, apart from VR virtual tourism, I quite like that, but that's still not going to take off
that.
either. We've talked about that before, man. Anyway, so we've got Fallout VR, similar, so that going to be the Fallout...
Fallout, so they announced Fallout 4 and Skyrim, but I believe that is just the game as it was, just
that's
in
good.
VR.
You can imagine that'll work better because it is slower paced, isn't
Exactly,
it? It's
yeah.
easier to, why not? And then we're back on Skyrim. Skyrim is also coming to the VR as they try and spread Skyrim around like herpes at a high school dance.
Try and get another 20 years out of that frigging game.
No, they will.
Yeah.
And why not? It is a masterpiece. So I believe we've done too quickly there. So the Bethesda conference rolls on, and we get the next big. Well, it's not a big surprise because it's one of those things. It's like the worst kept secret in the industry. The Evil Within 2 is a ting. It's a ting, Saul. It's a ting.
So, I know you're quite a big fan of horror games. Like you're a big
Love
Dark
them,
Souls
and
fan.
I love the author of these games, Shinji Mikami.
So, what did you think of the first one?
I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was very difficult at first. It had a peculiar difficulty spike. Once you get over that,
I agree.
you're straight into it. And there's loads of references to Resident Evil, and it was pure Resident Evil 4 style controls and Shadow of the Damned style controls.
Yeah.
But it was pure horror. It was legit like psychological Silent Hill Resident Evil horror. And didn't finish it. I will admit this because towards the end, the very end of the game, you start to get into the city, and the gameplay actually changed. It stops really being survival horror towards the end. It becomes far more action orientated. And that kind of put me off, but not enough to not be incredibly excited about the sequel. And I'm going to buy this on day one.
Yeah, I can see that. It's a chud game, that, isn't it? It's a chud game. Yeah, like I played a bit of The Evil Within, but the trailer that they showed at E3, not the gameplay, but the actual just the cinematic trailer just blew hard. So good,
It was
creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
And just beautiful.
With that weird woman with the hooks and the chains, was she in the trailer?
just loads of stuff going on. It was very weird.
They've released a gameplay trailer and seen her in action. It looks scary. I think she might be the new like sort of nemesis.
Okay.
But yeah, I came so close to spending £16 on Evil Within, buying it this week, just because I'm really excited for playing it again. Then I was like, no, Church, you need to adult some more.
Same responsibilities, man.
I have that. Yeah, I guess I have responsibilities. I don't know. So then, lastly, the final nail in the coffin. I didn't mean that to be quite as dark as it was, but yeah, the final showing is.
That was a good pun. That you can keep that on.
Why?
You know, I thought that was a good segue between Evil Within 2. Nail
All right,
in the
yeah. I did it on purpose.
Give yourself some credit, Chud.
I give myself some
Pat you on the back.
Don't fucking touch me.
Pat you on the back.
Well,
Well
get
done.
off. So yeah, now we have Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, another worst kept secret in gaming.
Well, so they actually announced this kind of last year.
Oh yeah, they did on that DOS screen, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So
with the question marks on the release date. Yeah, Wolfenstein was awesome. Absolutely love it. Any excuse to just blow Nazis into pieces is my jam.
You just never got over that Nazi
No, I
thing, did you?
just love it, man. I just fucking love killing Nazis. So yeah, the last Wolfenstein was probably one of my favourite games of what would have been 15, maybe 2015.
Sounds about right, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
15, yeah,
But
beginning.
real good, man. Really good. Really excited.
You liked it, didn't you? You liked
Loved
it. I got it on the cheap and didn't get into it. I thought it just felt too. You felt like a game that was playing. Definitely was for PlayStation 3 as well.
Yeah.
I could feel that, and plus it was a bit too. I don't know. It didn't grab me. I didn't get very far into it though. I do feel like going back and giving it another go.
I think that just to touch on what you said, it was definitely a game that was kind of stuck between the two console generations, because I actually played it first on PS3, and up close some of the textures are just like mud. They just look real bad. And then playing it again later on the PlayStation 4, everything's cleared up, looks a hell of a lot better. So with the Wolfenstein New Colossus only being on PlayStation 4,
Exactly.
hopefully all that'll be gone and just be a really crisp looking, awesome Nazi killing game. Can't wait.
Good man, fill your boots. The trailer was cool. It's set in 1950s greaseball, rockabilly society in America, and it has but obviously it's been overrun by Nazis. The Nazis have occupied, because we're in
It's like an alternative timeline.
in an alternative timeline where the Nazis won the war. So your typical Nazi general comes into the American diner, has his milkshake, and it looks cool. I'm really into the story of this.
Yeah.
I just hope that the gameplay can bring me in. But as I say, with this being a purely next-gen title, then I reckon a lot of my fears will have been allayed.
Yep.
So that's cool. So moving on, that was Bethesda. How are we feeling about the old Door Kings?
Pretty good. No real big surprises there. Kind of played it by the books. I liked the presentation of the presentation. You know, with like the kind of dream fun park that they had going on, where they were going into the different areas of the theme park. You got any idea what you're looking really blank at me?
I'm like, no, yeah. I remember the because it wasn't to do with the set, was it? They had like a graphic.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I remember because I was.
They had a narrator going, and now we'll go to Wolfenstein Land.
Yeah, that was cool. I saw that graphic before E3. It was released a couple of weeks before.
Yeah, it's like a teaser, right?
Yeah, that was cool. But yeah, no, good conference. I'd say it was about on the same level as EA, but not as diluted. If EA wasn't as diluted, it'd be as good as this.
I think it was shorter than EA. I think it was only like 35, 40 minutes maybe, whereas EA was about an hour, so I think that helps.
Game of the show to me was Evil Within 2, just because I like that sort of thing, ladies and gentlemen. Don't judge.
I would say, man, you know what? I'd be really interested to play Fallout VR. If I had VR. I would love to play that, so I'm going to give that my
Get yourself an Argos card. You can spread the payment over 12 months.
Lovely.
And then forget about it. And then owe them like $6,000. As far as a business principle goes...
Some experience there.
Not yet. I'm going to get it sorted. As far as business principles goes, though, that is really, really dodgy, because if you forget to pay, it is like 600% or something. Yeah, it gets added on top of it. And if you spend 400 quid, that's like, what, $4,000 all of a sudden?
A lot of money.
How are people supposed to get out of that? They don't. It's fucking bullshit.
You're supposed to pay your debts, aren't you?
Well, yeah.
Like a Lannister.
Yeah, but you can't cripple people. You can't cripple someone and expect them to pay it. Be reasonable. But anyway, just for anybody who's listening, because my Argos account, my affairs are very much in hand.
So, what would you give Bethesda out of 10 for a conference?
Well, all right, we're doing that thing.
Let's do that thing.
I've been getting into grime a lot this week. This is why I keep talking about this. Yeah. So, Bethesda, I'm going to go with... do we have to do it out of 10?
Yeah.
Right, fine. I'm going to give them 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I think that's a solid 7, 6.5. But I'm not going to be a dick, so no, we're not. We'll give them a 7.
I'm giving EA 6. I'm giving EA 6 and I'm giving Bethesda 7.
I agree. We're on the fucking same wavelength here.
Yeah.
It's like we've done this before. It's like we know what we're talking about.
I'm a Wadi. I'm gonna win.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Microsoft 2017 E3 conference.
When did Bill Gates turn into like a 60-year-old cigar and whiskey drinking fucking...
If you've got the money that Bill Gates has, you must probably just fucking... He's always on the cigars. Because if you're a millionaire, that's what you do. You suddenly get an addiction to really, really horrible things that make you feel real bad.
Yeah.
Power and cigars. So yeah, Xbox, everyone's favourite number 2 company. We're not sponsored by Sony, I promise you. So yeah, I was really looking forward to this conference, and they started off strong. They started off with the burning question on everyone's lips, Saul.
Forza 7.
Forza 7, yeah.
Exclusive.
Forza 7 is just so interchangeable between all the other racing bullshit that when I was making my notes for this, I couldn't figure out if it was the new one or not. So I had to correct me. This is the new one. Oh.
It was definitely going to come. Forza 7 is really, really great racing franchise, and it really goes well to show off the power of the Xbox One X, which was a really goddamn stupid name. But we'll come on to that in a minute, I reckon.
Well, that is how they open up True, isn't it? They brought that goddamn box out there, didn't they?
Yep.
The Xbox Scorpio is no longer. Xbox Scorpio is dead. Long live Xbox X!
Do you know what? And I think I'd actually prefer them to call it Scorpio.
Yeah, so would I, because the branding here is just getting a bit out of hand, isn't it? You got the Xbox One, you got the Xbox S, you got the Xbox One X, Xbox OG, Xbox S. So I don't know if I'm coming or going here, folks. So that's a bit bizarre, but yes, the new almighty powerhouse, the most powerful video games console ever created by mankind, is finally here, Saul.
For about 6 months.
For about 6 months, and then because PlayStation 5 is going to be all about E3 next year, isn't it? Anyway, so here we are. It's going to be $500, which has kicked up a big stink, but it's actually cheaper than I thought it was going to be. So I was like, it's quite reasonable.
Well, actually, so if you take $500, you turn that into pounds, it's about 390. Whereas they're actually charging 450 quid for it in the UK, which is a nice extra 60 quid, basically on what the Americans are paying.
Right,
how do you feel about
that? Confused.
Yeah, it's not good, is it? Not good.
No, but I mean, even at that, I was expecting to pay 600 quid for this.
What?
So 450 quid. I'm like, I'm not getting one because I need to sort my fucking life out. But yes, I'm totally not getting one. I might get a Switch, but I'm not getting one. So yeah, I didn't mind the price that much. I'm not getting one. They've released the specs, and none of it means anything to me. But it's
big numbers.
There was massive numbers.
How many teraflops?
All of them, and there was big numbers. There was 7. There was 18. Yeah. It even got as high as 26, didn't they? Yeah. But yeah, it looked pretty. I don't know what anything means. Soul probably does, but we don't want to bore you to tears. True HK. God, it's warm here, isn't it? It's like 52 degrees. True 4K streaming.
Yep, HDR.
Because apparently PlayStation Pros is a bit of a pseudo 4K stream. It's not quite true, but whatever. I'm happy with my PlayStation Pro. But it looks kind of cool. It's the smallest Xbox. It's a small little thing, so that's kind of cool.
Oh really?
Yeah. Did you not see it? It's the smallest Xbox ever created. Huh. It's smaller than the PlayStation 4. If you look at a PS3 though, I've got the smallest PS3 available. It looks about the same size as that, if not even smaller. Huh. Covered in dust, that thing, isn't it? I need to get on the duster. Everything's covered in dust. Yeah. That's my skin. That.
You're on the 64 thing yet?
What? Oh yeah,
64's games.
It's not, but it hasn't caught dust. That's just bizarre. Maybe it's got like some sort of curse up on it where it doesn't get dust.
Nintendo curse.
The Nintendo
when nobody
curse.
buys their shit anymore.
Yeah, well.
Anyway,
moving on. Where are we? So then back down to the games. We got Maddle.
I just want to say one thing about the Scorpio.
Please do.
Backwards compatibility. That was a shit hot move.
Well, yeah.
That was a really good move to kind of announce that at the same time.
What? When you say that, what do you mean?
So the fact that, like, so not only can you now play OG Xbox games, like as part of the whatever program they call it, where you can play those games on now also on the Xbox One and the Xbox One S, but also.
So yeah, basically we can play the 360 games, you can play the Xbox One games,
correct.
But as Saul stated originally there, it's the big news, it's something that people have wanted for ages and I'm super stoked about. You can play Xbox OG games, and it isn't just on Scorpio, it's on your Xbox One as well, man. Coming to all Xbox, all modern Xboxes, you can now play OG Xbox games. We're talking Knights of the Old Republic, we're talking Jet Set Future, we're talking Morrowind, people. It's happening.
It's really interesting this because like I was reading some stats the other day that like it's always one of the most requested features is backwards compatibility, right? Whether it's Microsoft, Sony, whatever. But actually, in reality, very very few people use it.
Yeah.
So it's much more in terms of like fan service and like trying to pull back a bit of that consumer base. Yeah, exactly. Good grace. Yeah. So it's probably, to be honest, cost them a fair chunk to be able to do this. And they're not going to get that much back for it. But
no, they're not. They're going to lose. It's going to make a loss. But then again, if you've got this much money, I mean, there's got to be a point where you've just got to stop and cut the boardroom bullshit. It's like, margins are dropped and blah blah. It doesn't matter. You've still got an insane amount of money. Just start putting it towards just making motherfuckers happy.
Exactly.
But with the whole stats about people who request it but don't play it, it is true. I've got X amount of games here that are like old consoles and I don't play them. I like having them though, and I really really wish. I wish to the bottom of my heart that Sony would just follow suit and do the same thing. I want to play my old PlayStation games, and I think it annoys me. I'm still a sucker though. I'm still going to buy Brothers for the second time on the PS4.
I mean, like, I think the reason for this is this: like, Microsoft are like playing a bit of catch up, and so they're trying to get all that goodwill. Yeah. Sony will still sell those PS3 games remastered for PS4, and that's exactly money for Sony.
Because they're in the front. They don't have to do anything different. This is the way it works. Competition is the spice of life.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything, but still. You need competition. You need it because without it, then there's no motivation to do this fan service. That's why this is why the wrestling industry is on its ass. But that's a conversation for another time.
I mean, that's why, like, kind of just sidetracking a little bit here, but like, for example, a healthy Nintendo is good for the entire industry, right? Because Nintendo are great game creators. They push everybody else forward in terms of not even their games, but like their hardware, their peripherals.
Innovation, yeah. And it's good to have a third competitor who is sort of off the beaten path of what people want. Because the first two, Sony and Xbox, they're just sort of giving two sides to the same dish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Two sides of the same coin. Yeah. There's a lot of Scottyisms today. But Nintendo do something a bit more creative, a bit more different. It's a true alternative, and we need that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, now, where were we? Back on track. So,
Shadow of War.
Shadow of War. I can't remember anything about seeing this apart from it looks awesome. The Nemesis system is back. It's been fleshed out. It's really, really warm here. So the Nemesis system has been fleshed out, which is exactly what they needed to do because that was the meat and potatoes, the crux of the original one. Do you have anything to say about that song?
No, I think this is the kind of game that I'm gonna wait for reviews. Really like the first one. It doesn't seem, apart from the Nemesis system, to be doing anything spectacularly new. Similar kind of environment. So I'll wait for reviews, but I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah, so do I.
I think it's probably gonna be a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
I can see.
And even if it doesn't do too much new, who cares? It's more of a good thing, and there's only been one. So it's got it's got at least a sequel of good grace in it, but it doesn't have to do too much different, in my opinion.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yep. Moving on, we've got the big disappointment in my eyes. They needed to hit a home run on this one, and boy, did you guys drop the ball.
Exclusive.
Crackdown 3. Did you see this shambles? So Crackdown 3, a little bit of story time here. Crackdown 3 was the big IP for the Xbox One, which was going to come around. I don't know if it was going to come out around launch, but it was certainly going to come out the year after, and then got delayed. So the year after that, and then they were like, well, I'll tell you what, don't worry, because the multiplayer is coming out this summer, and we are going to show you guys exactly what the power of the cloud is all about. It's going to be fully destructible environments, people running around, everything blowing up, looking beautiful, collapsing, and then that didn't come out. And then E3 following, which was last year's E3, no sign of it. Yep. So we're thinking they have to come out this year. Big, both guns blazing. Xbox Scorpio. They're going to show it on that, and we're going to see what this baby's all about. So what do we get? We get I'll tell you what, we got Crackdown 3, a trailer, which looks worse than originally shown years and years ago. Yep. We got to see zilch of these buildings getting destroyed and things like that. We got to see fuck all. They messed up big. This is the biggest mess up of the entire conference for me.
Yep, I think you're absolutely right. Really, really disappointed. A lot of people were really looking forward to it. A lot of people thought that this was going to be the main showpiece of the Microsoft conference, but like, to me, Crackdown 3 is the perfect example of a game that it was stuck between generations, right? So, I mean, it was started development on the Xbox One, then obviously got moved over to the Xbox One X, and I think that just like, you know, when it was really announced for the Xbox One, and it was always going to be online, right? And that was always going to be, that's how they were going to power it, with the cloud. But obviously then, people did not want that.
Well, no, I'm still getting nightmares about that. I wake up and I go, DRM!
Yeah. So I think they had to go back to the drawing board with a lot of it. And so what I'm hearing, I don't know if you've heard anything contrary to this, but the multiplayer, which is obviously going to have to be based online, will feature all of the destructible buildings and all that kind of stuff. But the single player won't.
Yeah, that makes sense to me, because how else are they going to have the power of the cloud? Exactly. Which totally isn't a buzzword, marketing bollocks term at all. So, prove me wrong. I
think it's got a lot to prove, and I think they're off to a really bad start with it.
But a bad start? So, this isn't the start. This should be the finish line.
Yeah, true.
This is a disaster right now. Anyway, enough said about that. Moving on. We got Metro Exodus, a new game which I didn't even know was in development, but hey ho, a happy surprise is a happy surprise, so. We've got the third in the Metro franchise. Metro is a very interesting video games franchise set in the undergrounds of the railway undergrounds of Moscow. It's based on a post-apocalyptic set of books that are very famous over in Russia. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And it looks open world, a lot more open world than it was before. It's all about, lycanthropes and mutated rats and this, that and the other. I think it looks like the plot is all about them trying to finally escape the metro, maybe knowing that this is a trap, they're trapped down there, there's no life, and them trying to actually come above ground and find life somewhere else in the world. Yeah. That's the impression I'm getting.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Hence the name Exodus.
There we are.
I'm so smart.
I know, look at you.
Yeah. Covered in fucking
sweat. Really good. I'm a huge sucker for anything post-apocalyptic.
I know you're a huge sucker,
just love that. Yeah, played the first couple of games, never finished them, but I really liked them.
Yeah,
they were the problem I had with the first two. They were a little janky, a little clunky. They're lacking that final little bit of polish.
They were full of great ideas though. And they had the atmosphere coming out of the kazoo.
Yeah,
and the story was really, really good.
Yeah,
but you hit the nail on the head. It was that lack of polish.
Yeah. So again, hopefully. New generation of hardware, maybe we'll see. Maybe they'll fix that up.
A lot of video games being made of Eastern European literature recently. That's quite interesting, isn't it? With The Witcher and this.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Was Stalker? I believe was set in the Ukraine as well. I might be bullshitting there.
Was it?
Oh no, Chernobyl. Of course, it was.
That never came to consoles though, so it never crossed my field of vision.
there's not only like games based on Eastern European literature, but studios, game development studios coming out of like Poland and Ukraine, doing some really, really good work out there. Really, really good. I think that from what I'm hearing, a lot of the governments will actually subsidise these companies and give them a bit of a helping hand to start up. But they seem to be getting a lot of talent. So yeah, we'll keep your eyes posted on that part of the world.
How exactly does one keep their eyes posted?
Post-it notes over your eyes, just like so.
Ah, I see.
It's a a phrase.
The glue will give you strange powers and make you able to see into the future.
Yeah. It's really handy if you're on a dirt bike as well, because you don't get the mud in your eyes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It just hits the post-it.
Or any grit or anything like that.
Yep.
I've never
Flies in your eyes. Oh, it's terrible.
I'm starting to see post-it notes in a whole new world.
Yeah.
No world, new way. Scottyisms, ladies and gentlemen. It's really, really warm in here. So, moving on, we got Ori and the Will-o'-the-Wisps.
Exclusive.
The sequel to the popular indie game that was Xbox One exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
That came out about 2 years ago. Good, yeah, good.
It looks just stunning. It
Yeah,
looks
beautiful.
one of the most beautiful games.
Yeah, it did. I'm on the side now.
Yeah.
I've not played the first one yet. It's one of those games that I am going to get around to it. I'm just waiting for a nice price on sale and I'll jump in.
You know that also involves turning your Xbox on again.
What?
I've
forgotten how to do that, sorry. But no, I do turn my Xbox off once a month to claim my games and then not play them. As falling apart. So moving on, we've got Assassin's Creed Origins. Finally, we've been discussing this little beast for a couple of months now, and here it is. I told you it'd be in Egypt. We already covered that though.
You're right.
But here it is in Egypt, looking like a very pretty Assassin's Creed game.
Yep. I think the big news here is, obviously they took a year off last year, so people were maybe expecting a bit of a change up in gameplay, maybe additional story elements. Who knows?
That's what I'm worried about, because I don't know if they've done enough.
No, exactly. I think that it's Assassin's Creed, definitely, but I don't think they've done enough to bring out the people that maybe they lost over the last year. I think it was really good to take that time off because the franchise fatigue was really setting in.
I think that this will do well. I think it will sell well. I think it'll make them a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I think that purely is because of the year off. I think that has done wonders in that way, but I don't know. I think if this becomes a yearly thing and they don't make bigger changes, it's just going to go back down again.
Like, what do you think of the setting? Are you excited about it?
It looks. When I first heard Egypt, I wasn't excited because I was like, "That's just like open spaces of desert, isn't it? How are you going to make a climbing mechanic work in that?" But looking like it, they've cheated it a bit, and it's slowed. Maybe they've not cheated it. Maybe 3,000 years ago, Egypt did look like this.
Sprawling metropolis.
Scaffolding. It looks gorgeous. It looks really, really pretty. I assume it was running on Scorpio because I'm calling it Scorpio.
It was.
And it looked gorgeous, but a lot of it looks mechanically the same, doing this, that and the other. But the big news, the big change is apparently it's going to be a lot more like Witcher 3 in that it's got skill trees, leveling up mechanics, and the way that the quest system apparently is going to work a lot more akin to Witcher 3, so Radiant quest systems, getting involved more into the characters and what's going on, and if they've got the writing chops to pull it off, maybe that will be good enough to make it feel fresh again.
You've actually just sold me on that. I didn't realise that.
I didn't mean to.
Yeah, no, you've actually piqued my interest.
Interesting. I'm thinking of getting back into sales,
Back into what?
Back into sales.
Sales?
Sales, yeah. But that's neither here nor there at this point. Selling things to people.
Oh, selling things.
Yeah, as opposed to
I was
saving.
thinking boat sales. What's going about here?
No, why would
boot sales?
Yeah, but anyway, where are we? So back in Assassin's Creed. Pyramids. They're interesting. We'll get him sliding down the pyramid. Apparently, you can climb up anything in this one, like trees, pyramids.
Climb a tree.
You have always wanted to climb a tree since the wheelchair accident, haven't you? The wheelchair accident.
Well,
you got hit by a 50-ton man in a wheelchair.
That's right. Yeah. And that's exactly why I've been waiting for a game set in ancient Egypt when I can climb trees and pyramids.
So where are we and who are we?
Exclusive.
Cuphead. That's where we are.
Yeah. Didn't show it. Cuphead, we talked about this before, is a side-scrolling shooter which is purely done in the artistic direction of a 1930s cartoon.
Yeah, like Steamboat Willie kind of.
Steamboat Willie, it looks just like Steamboat Willie but in colour. And it looks beautiful, it looks awesome. It was a very short trailer. I am worried it should have been out a year ago. These are alarm bells that should be ringing.
You see, I don't think so. I think that I think this game is going to do extremely well, not just because of the art style, but I think that they really had to take it back to the drawing board because originally it was a boss mode, right?
Yes,
it was just like boss fights. But now apparently they've gone and actual levels where you fight different enemies. I don't know whether there's platforming in it or anything like that, but definitely fleshed it out a lot more into a much more kind of full form game, which is great because there's nothing else I've never seen a game look like this.
No, neither have I. So I am excited about it, but as I say, some of the old alarm bells are ringing. But anyway, moving on. Then we got Rapid Fire. And I mean rapid fire, we're talking about 8 games in a row. Some of them I just can't simply remember, but it was indie game after indie game, Xbox exclusive, this, that, and the other. I'm going to call this bit Microsoft's great branding misunderstanding, where they misunderstood what the fuck they were supposed to do to win people back. Now, the problem with Xbox at the moment is all the first-party IPs are dropping left, right, and centre, and the ones that are coming out, such as, what was that one where you put the orb in the robot and
Recall.
Exclusive.
Recall was sucked. It looks awesome. It got 6 out of 10. Sucked ass. The killer IP that was coming out.
Exclusive.
Scalebound got dropped, cancelled. They've got nothing on the horizon coming up apart from Halo 6, obviously the works, but it's still in the cover, so we can't talk about that. They need strong first-party IPs that are Xbox One exclusive.
Exclusive.
AAA games. That's what they need. However, I think they've taken the whole we've not got enough exclusives, and they've started to pump out all of these exclusive indie games, which is lovely for people like me and Saul.
Are they exclusive indie games?
Well, we're going to get to that in a second. So they say they're exclusive.
Exclusive.
I imagine a lot of them are. They're going to be in even bigger trouble than I thought originally. But that's not what they need to win this war. Indie games don't sell consoles. That's a shame. And believe me, my hand is on my heart while I'm saying this to you. I wish indie games did sell consoles. But that's what they needed to do. First party support. But now we've got lots and lots of lovely little indie games, and this is not what they needed. They needed blockbusters. They needed Michael Bay.
Yeah, they did. Can we just touch on that exclusive thing? Because I just was raging after maybe the 5th time that I heard that stupid
fucking massive
exclusive.
Boner.
Exclusive.
Yeah.
I was just exactly. No, the opposite of a boner. Oh. Just like the biggest floppy. Like I was really like every time I heard that I was losing interest because they're lying to me basically.
I didn't realise at the time they were until...
Literally, before every trailer that they showed at that Microsoft conference was this big exclusive, voice clip. And it's not true. I think maybe the only game that they showed which is a true exclusive is Forza 7. Everything else is going to come to all the other consoles.
Oh, really? Then they're even more fucked than I thought they were.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Ori isn't
Ori, okay, yeah.
Console one died.
Is it?
Yeah, why wouldn't Ori be? I'm sure it's made by a Microsoft-owned company.
Maybe you're right, okay, maybe you're right. But, so even... games that they were showing like Cuphead, it was exclusive, but then in the bottom corner it would say launch exclusive, which means that probably a month after launch it's going to come out to PS4.
In the vein of Tomb Raider.
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly,
yeah. But I mean, at least Tomb Raider had a year.
Yeah.
This is probably literally, it said launch, it's probably going to be literally a month.
Yeah.
So I think that they were
It's a 3 AM exclusive. It's a 3 AM.
Yeah. Grasping at straws, I think, there a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think you're right that what they really are missing is those huge, big AAA first-party exclusives.
Exclusive.
That aren't going to come to other consoles, but they just don't have the studios to make them. They just don't have them. So they're in a tough spot. I think, just generally in the big grand scheme of things, they're going to be fine. Microsoft are going to be fine. But I want them to do better because I love my 360. And
I love my 360 too. You did betray us. But hey ho. Then they got things right back on track. They got me right back in the saddle. Loving Microsoft with Sea of Thieves.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it looks cool. It's made by Rare, the defining games company of the 90s.
Yep.
Made all the classic games for Nintendo, moved over to Xbox, did not fare so well, have been gutted, raped, destroyed, stuck on Kinect games. All the cool people have left apparently, but hey ho. This could be their chance to pull their shit back together.
It looked really good. I'll say that, it looked really good. From what I'm hearing, again, the gameplay's a little bit janky, but incredibly fun. So
yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like it's not the most polished thing, but everyone gets together and these are all real people. One guy's on the sales, one guy's on the mass, one guy's looking out. It just sounds like a good time. It just sounds like something to have a little bit of a cup of tea to and play. I know they said something incriminating.
Jolly good time.
Yeah. So that's cool. Looking forward to that. I'm going to definitely jump on board with Sea of Thieves, and then we've got a little bit more of Anthem, which we've already covered. Looks pretty sick. And they actually ended, didn't they, with the announcement of OG Xbox support? Did they? Maybe I'm getting things wrong.
Let's say yes. Fuck it.
Yes, they did. And I thought that was lovely. I thought that was very nice. And
really
so that,
smart.
my friends, is the Expert Box.
Out of 10?
Out of 10. We are going to go... Bow, bow, bow. Xbox, I'm going to be nice to them. I'm going to give them an 8.
I'm going to give them a 7.
I was being nice.
Again, like, solid conference. Nothing special. I mean, like, it feels weird saying that, right? That we've got a brand new piece
there was
of
nothing
hardware.
special. Out of everything we talked about so far, there was nothing killer. 7 out of 10, you're right.
I mean, it's weird to say that, even though they showed off essentially a new console, right? And that should have got everybody hyped. But again, like, it's a lot of money. I don't really know who it's for, apart from the absolute, real hardcore gamers amongst us. Which you've even said you're not going to buy one. So,
I got problems, boy.
Mankind ill needs a savior such as you.
What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. Have at you.
So next we take a little trip down to Gay Paris and we join our favourite French developers, Ubisoft. This wasn't held in Paris at all, it was still in LA, but I wanted to do a French bit. We start off with a bit of a surreal moment. So to start the Ubisoft conference, one Shigeru, how are you pronouncing it now? Shigeru Miyamoto. Nintendo's main hitman, comes walking out on stage to a Ubisoft conference.
Weird, that wasn't
it? Really weird. This is the guy who made Mario, Zelda, all that good stuff. Or he didn't actually make the original Zelda, it was somebody else. It's a common misconception. But yeah, he is basically the most important video games designer of all time without question. And he is Nintendo's... no, let's not debate this now. Let's just not debate this.
That's a hell of a claim right there.
Right, go on then.
I mean, I enjoy. Jonathan Blow, for example.
Who is that?
No,
who's Jonathan Blow? Is that the
Derek
Syncopter guy?
No, Derek Yu, because he made Spelunky, which is the best game ever. No, you can't argue with that.
You're telling me he's better than Miyamoto, the guy who did Mario Galaxy, Mario World.
Wait for it. Yes, I am. He's better.
Fine, moving on. I told you, he never was the same since the guy with the wheelchair ran him over. But yeah, Mario plus Rabbids. Basically Mario and... Nintendo are working in cahoots with Ubisoft, which is a lovely little thing, isn't it? They're doing a game between the two of their main IPs, or main characters, and it looks interesting.
It's the kind of idea that this has been floating around for a while, and the first time I heard it, I was not interested at all. I have no idea
I was
how
confused.
this is going to work.
But I was upset.
Seeing the gameplay, I'm a huge XCOM fan.
You are.
And they are basically ripping off XCOM.
They are.
It's an XCOM with Mario.
With Mario RPG style efforts.
I will also say this, in the gameplay trailer that they showed off, so part of it was like the combat, the XCOM style, and the other part was obviously traversing the map.
Yeah.
And that looked boring as all hell, man. Real bad.
You see, I think the opposite. I like the bits where they're traversing the map. I like some of the design.
It's okay to be wrong.
Yeah, fair enough, dickhead. But then the bit with the Xbox bit, I just started to think about isometric squares and putting people accidentally in the wrong place and dying.
Yeah. Well, but that's why I love my hardcore strategy games, because I take my time over this stuff. Right.
So let's move on. Then we move on to The Crew 2, a game I got for free.
You got Crew 2 for free?
Not that. I got The Crew 1.
Alright, sorry.
Don't be nasty, soul. Calm down.
No, I thought you might, landed yourself a pretty mint job at Ubisoft there. You just
I wish.
stashed in all these games you're not telling me about.
At this point, I'd take a job with who's a shit games developer. Finish my joke for me, dickhead.
Shit games developer, Nintendo.
Oh, whatever, right. So The Crew 2, I got the original for free on Xbox's delightful games with gold, which is still better than PlayStation's, so yeah, we're not sponsored by Sony. This looks fine, I'm not going to get it. It looks just more like The Crew again, which is a game I played 5 minutes for. This looks like it has some interesting ideas, let's go and see what's on the television.
But it's now all motorsports, right? So there's boats, planes, motorbikes, all this kind of stuff.
Water sports.
Hey!
So now you can get to fly in a plane and things like this. Where is it set, because they did like the America last time.
I think it is the States.
States again. So they're just possibly doing the same map but reworking it completely different, maybe. They're more than welcome to. I've got no hang up with them going off the same. It'd be really lazy if they did it in the same like map, you know, road for road, same effort.
You mean like Far Cry 4 and Primal?
Did that? I know there was a lot of controversy about that. Was that real? Was that legit? Because I never noticed.
It is legit. It is the same map.
It's the same map.
A little bit of a reskin, like some different textures here and there, but the topography, where the mountains are, the water, it is the same.
That is really, really cheeky, that.
Same.
First game I ever platinumed.
I kind of like that, because it's like, you know, it's set in exactly the same place that Far Cry 4 was, just thousands and thousands, millions of years
They
before.
didn't say that, though, did they?
No.
They didn't tell anybody about it, did they? Until one day someone stumbled across it.
What's this?
Yeah, whatever.
Dinosaurs, isn't it?
Blood Dragon.
Dinosaurs blood.
Yeah. Ubisoft, make more games about dinosaurs and vampires and less about Americans. Nobody cares. Anyway, where are we? Skull and Bones. Now we're on to another real juicy morsel.
I'm very
This looks
aroused.
sick. This
Very
looks
aroused.
awesome. Yes, put it away, Jesus Christ. So yeah, Skull and Bones basically is Assassin's Creed Black Flag. People, it's back, but it's not called Assassin's Creed anymore. Right, so basically, let me explain. Assassin's Creed Black Flag was the best Assassin's Creed game because it was set mainly on pirate ships, and it nailed the life of a seafaring, sea shanty singing pirates, sprouting pirate, and it was lovely. So you just basically sailed around fighting other pirate ships, and this is just that. It's the same engine, but you know, jazzed up a lot more, with elements of player versus player, and it looks fucking delightful.
I'm really excited about this. I loved Black Flag.
Yeah,
like,
so
loved
did I.
to death.
Loved it.
The ship combat was just my favourite
Yes,
part.
that was
so
the best bit.
If we can get a game of that, I'm sold already.
Absolutely.
All in, all
I
in.
nearly shut your hand then.
I might even
What?
pre-order it.
Don't be a dick. No, you're not doing that because you don't want to be part of that culture. Pre-ordering is bad, man.
I know it's bad.
Then don't be a part of the problem.
Do what I want.
Alright, do what you want, fine.
Just said I will.
Alright, fine.
I'm going to knock you out.
It's like 60 degrees in here now. I'm gonna get naked in a second.
This is the dawning of the sea otter. Know this time, child. I shall smash your skull like a clam on my tummy.
Next, we got South Park: The Fractured Butthole. Anybody who played South Park: The Stick of Truth? It was amazing. It was just like playing a South Park episode. Why can't The Simpsons and Family Guy do this? They should.
They should.
I'd play. Yeah. Apart from The Simpsons, because the writing did be shit. Then again, so would Family Guys. In fact, neither of you bother.
Yeah,
Unless you get Conan O'Brien and everybody who wrote The Simpsons in the 90s back and maybe get them to do it. I don't know. Shots fired. You tell me.
But South Park looks again great. You know, they delayed it twice maybe already?
They delayed it twice from what I remember. It was supposed to come out before last Christmas.
Yeah.
You have an interesting theory on this?
Yeah, like, I think with the kind of content and the material that they're dealing with in the writing of this game, I think that, well, let's go back to South Park, right? There were scenes in that game that were censored. And that
was really annoying.
Like,
because we live in Europe and we got them censored, people.
Yeah, in Australia, you know, parts that were censored in Australia were different to here, and it was weird. So I think that part of it might be that, you know, they've had to submit an early version of the game for certification, and then they've been told, no, this, and this has got to go, and so they may be having to rework a few little bits and pieces. It's one possibility, but I think that they're just taking their time with it. They're just going to keep going, and just try and make the best game possible, which I'm all for. Take as long as you want.
Yeah,
as long as you
absolutely. I think you might have hit the nail on the head though. They might have pretty much got near finishing it, but then they were like, you can't have that many dicks in that many orphanages or something. I don't know, something like that, but actually funny. So then we've got some really weird, bizarre thing, which I'm not even sure if I imagined or not. It was called Transference. I can't even remember. Right, and basically it was
Little Frodo, wasn't it?
Little Frodo. It was Elijah Wood off of the films, and he was there and he was talking about something or other, and I couldn't quite take it in because it was all just really
weird,
it was abstract. Weird. It was weird. So that's a thing for VR, I guess. If you ever wanted to feel like Elijah Wood, if you ever wanted to know what it felt like to be Elijah Wood, then this is for you.
What do you think it is? Do you think it's a game, or do you think it's more of like an interactive movie kind of thing? Any ideas?
I think it's a waste of my goddamn time is what I think it is. So.
Yeah, I agree. All right.
Unless you've got anything else to say about
Nope.
it, don't let me stop you.
Nope.
So South Park. Next, I've got the words South Park Phone Destroyer here, which formed into a fort mean that South Park is actually coming to your mobile phones, to iOS and Android. Hopefully, it'll be written by the Matt and Trey, but iOS, Android, cash grab. That's all it screams to me. Who cares? I don't care.
I mean, it looks. From the little bit that I saw, it looks like they're taking the combat from Stick of Truth and Fractured Butthole and basically making a game around that on iOS. Is that right?
I assume so, but I reckon the burning question here is, let's talk about phone ethics, let's talk about microtransactions and free-to-play. Maybe it isn't going to have any of that bullshit in, and maybe it is going to be an awesome iOS game for once, but we know that doesn't really happen. But
it could be.
It could be, because the team who make this game, basically, it's Matt and Trey, innit? They help make it, but then again, it is published by Ubisoft, so we will wait. And
well, at least it's not EA. So that much.
Yeah, true. Couldn't be much farther behind though. Ubisoft, EA, they are in the same ballpark. Yeah. But anyway, let's just move on. Next, we've got one of the heavy hitters, Far Cry 5. Yay! Woo!
Yay! No, I'm going to give a big yay to this because I love the Far Cry games.
You do. You love this.
Although I'm not as jazzed as I've been for the other ones, like Far Cry 4, I was really looking forward to. Like the setting in this one looks cool, but not, Far Cry 4. Far Cry's always been about these huge, beautiful tropical islands, and I think by setting it in the American Midwest is kind of going to restrict you a little bit with what you can do.
Yeah, it's not as good as the tropics of the third one, or the Himalayan mountains of the fourth one. It still seemed like a bit of a weird step backwards.
But I like what I've seen of the bad guy, the cult leader, whatever his name is. I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be really relevant. I think it's going to touch on some issues which are very relevant in the news at the moment.
Yeah, there are already people going, oh, you can't do that, ban it, because we don't want to hear those thoughts said out loud, keep quiet.
Crazy. But I'm almost certain that'll buy it day one.
Yeah, it looks. I'm getting a bit sick of climbing them watchtowers, collecting them collectibles, doing some of that Ubisoft gaming. Getting a bit bored of it, people. Getting a bit bored of it. So it's like more of the same, but I don't know. Maybe there's something to it that I'm missing. But here it is. It's completely fully online cooperative playable, so we can do it together.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
like the lovely little couple that we are. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. Plus, is it actually going to be couch co-op?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Video games industry is going backwards, isn't it? It's just like when they released Halo 5 and you couldn't play it on couch co-op. When Halo 3 was the bro party game of that generation. Yeah. I mean, like the amount of years, we'd pile about 8 lads into a room and just play 4-player, just pass them around.
It's funny you say that. I was out. I got absolutely slaughtered the other night, and I was talking to a guy I've not seen for 10 years, and the first thing we were talking about was Halo 3, and just playing Halo 3 together. And how pissed off he was because he thought it was really good until me and you turned up.
Oh yeah, well, I was about to say, do I know this guy?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And next we come to basically the big moment of the entire E3 this year, the big thing, the Final Fantasy VII remake, the Shenmue 3 being announced.
Okay, I can see that. I'm on board.
Over time, over the many decades of gaming, there are several games which people have always asked for and we thought we'd never see. So, we got 2 of them so far, the aforementioned Final Fantasy VII remake and Shenmue 3, and we've just got another one.
Now, it's weird that you put these in the same bracket, because I would never ever put Beyond Good and Evil in the same group, or like high regard, should we say, as Final Fantasy VII and Shenmue. Like, this did not sell anywhere near as well as those games, but the people that did play it love it, and they've been screaming for this game for like 13, 15 years, you know?
Exactly, people have been wanting a Beyond Good and Evil 2 for years. And here it is. They finally got it, and it was like the unicorn. It was what I'm going to brand now unicorn gaming.
Yeah.
Because people, it's like Half-Life 3 is the only one. It's the last unicorn to be corralled. Yeah. I'm not letting these Scottyisms pie.
I'm making a bet now. Oh. Half-Life 3, Switch exclusive.
But
it's going to be out tomorrow.
Toys R Us exclusive. You can only get it Toys R Us in Stockport. But back to Beyond Good and Evil 2, because we do need to cover this properly, because it's a unicorn moment in gaming. People have been waiting 15 years for this to come out. It got announced about 2009 E3, 2008 E3. They had a trailer, it disappeared, and Ubisoft continuously said to people, look, listen, be patient, we are still making this game. So, and then finally here it is. They open up with this incredibly bizarre, it's a CG trailer that doesn't have any gameplay. It's a very lengthy trailer. Yeah. And it's got
like a character introduction.
Yeah, it's a character introduction. It's got this Cockney monkey trying basically outwitting this pig. And it's just so weird, because you can tell that it's set in the Beyond Good and Evil universe. But Beyond Good and Evil, the first one, is like a really, really nice charming, quirky, family-friendly game, which you would see on the GameCube. In fact, wasn't it originally GameCube exclusive?
No.
But you get what I mean. It's that sort of
that kind of vibe.
And this trailer, the monkey was fuck this and fuck that, and it was just loads and loads of swearing. And I was like, this can't be Beyond Good and Evil 2 then. Yeah. So at first I saw the pig's like hoof. Yeah. I was like, it's Beyond Good and Evil 2, finally, excellent. And then the monkey started basically saying shit, and I was like, no, it isn't. And then it got announced as Beyond Good and Evil 2, and I was like, what? Yeah. I'm surprised that no one's saying anything about this. No, I've not heard anything of people going, this is bizarre.
All I will say is that the people that grew up playing Beyond Good and Evil 2 are now 15 years older. Yeah. And are quite, maybe that's how they want to see those characters evolve.
I guess that's, an interesting answer. Yeah. It's an interesting train of thought. Maybe that's the only reason I can think of as well, because it's the whole.
Yeah, and it's an old game, and I think that it was a very small kind of fan base that played that game at launch, and it's got a little bit bigger since then. Got like a bit of a cult status.
Fatter. Yeah.
But the people that originally played that game, like I said, are now same as us. Late 20s, early 30s, extremely handsome, and really have been wanting that game for a long time. So I think they've actually done a smart thing with it, and I think they've gone the right direction.
I'm going to go back and play the original. I've got it for free both my Xbox and my PlayStation. Nice. So that's it for Ubisoft's conference. So Sol, how many croissants out of 10?
I am going to give them 8 croissants. No, okay, 7 croissants and a clove of garlic.
I'm going to give them a straight up 8. 8 croissants out of 10. I thought there was a lot of good here. Skull and Bones was killer. Beyond Good and Evil 2 was the big moment of the entire fucking conference, as in all the conferences.
Yeah.
Far Cry 5 looks fine. I'm not that excited about it. But yeah, there's a couple of good things here.
It was good. It was again another solid conference.
Yeah.
The stages of the game will also be based on famous battles which actually took place in ancient Japan. So here's this giant enemy crab.
Now, moving on to our proud sponsors, it's Sony. And boy, do they have big shoes to fill, their own shoes, because the last 2 of Sony's E3 conferences have
Japanese,
been...
aren't they? They're going to have small shoes.
Small little dinky shoes. But yeah, the last 2 years, the conferences have been amazing. The best ever. Seriously. 2 years ago was the Conference of Dreams. Every dream has come true. We love you, Huber. And then the dream after that was just the dream after that. The conference after that was just strong as it opened with the orchestra, went straight in there. Yep. And then Hideo Kojima comes out, breaks his 6-month silence.
Yeah.
But yeah,
really just set the bar for what everybody else should be kind of aiming for.
What a video games conference should be, in my opinion.
Did it live up?
No, it didn't.
It didn't.
No, we're going to be honest with you, people.
Not bad.
That was good.
But
I liked it.
Nowhere near.
No, it wasn't amazing though. Yeah. The other 2 were 10 out of 10 conferences.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. This wasn't, and we'll rate it afterwards.
Yep.
Tell us what you think. We started in the same vein as last year. Quite interesting. Last year we got a full-on orchestra, boom, 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 and it was really dramatic. This year they went for a similar vibe, but they didn't quite nail it because this time they went for 5 dudes playing a guitar. It was all kind of nice, but it was all kind of I want to give you a change.
Can I just say at this point, it was 2 a.m?
Oh yeah, we've been waiting up, and I was tired as fuck. And then Saul was like, "It's on at 1," and I was like, "Are you sure?" And he was like, yeah. And then we got on at 1. He was like, "Welcome to the Sony pre-show. We're on an hour." And I'm like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
Well, I'm here now. Might as well.
So then we waited up to 2. So a lot of this, I mean, there were some of these games I didn't even remember being announced until I made my notes here. So it opens with people playing the guitar at 2 a.m. I was really tired. I didn't know what was going on. But basically, this segued into the revelation of
Uncharted. It's the Uncharted DLC.
Yes,
which looks really good.
Yeah,
really good.
Awesome.
It's going to be good. I mean, Naughty Dog. You can't really fault them for anything they've ever done. They're saying it's going to be a little bit longer than Left Behind, but shorter than Uncharted 4. So you're probably looking at about the 5-6 hour mark for this. A meaty piece of DLC for an already fantastic game.
Which makes it a standalone DLC. So I don't believe you have to.
No, you don't. No.
Which is very much the business practice of the time these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks good. It tells the story of Chloe, who was the hot one from Uncharted 2. But yeah, I'm up for it. I love these games. The 4th one was awesome. It was a bit of a slow burner, but when it got going, boy, did it get going. So yeah, happy days. Looking forward to it.
Will you play it though?
I'm going to get it. Not £30 though. I'm going to get it on sale.
Yeah.
Then I've got written down here Destiny 2. which, from my vague memories of it, I remember being impressed. I thought it looked good. I am going to jump back on board on Destiny when it comes out. Looking forward to it.
I'm not that bothered.
Come on, Saul, get involved.
Not that bothered, mate.
I told you I accidentally played Destiny 1 on my own by accident. I need friends.
Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wait until 2 years later and see if the game's any good.
Alright.
Like this, like they do with Destiny 1, do you know what I mean? By the end, after 2 years after release, it was a shit hot game. But for me, I'd already gone past it, the boat had sailed. So I'll probably do the same for Destiny 2. Wait a little bit, get a Game of the Year edition, and it'll all be fine.
Well, yeah, you're more than welcome to. Looking forward to it. Same kind of problem as the Wolfenstein game, Destiny 1. You can tell it was also made to run on PlayStation 3. This one is purely for today's console, so that will obviously have an effect. But yeah, I'm looking forward to jumping back into the world of Destinatorium. Then we've got the new Detroit Become Human, which is a game by what's given the fella's name?
David Cage.
David Cage, the guy who made us Fahrenheit and Heavy Rain.
And Beyond Two Souls, and Omicron the Nomad Soul.
Willem Dafoe Simulator.
Yes. I am very, very excited about this game. Heavy Rain was one of my favourite games of the PlayStation 3, if not of all time. David Cage, I have mixed feelings about him. I think
he's a very divisive human being.
Yeah, he's not. He's a shit writer. I'm gonna say it, but makes incredibly interesting games. The trailer that we saw at E3 follows like a rogue android who's trying to kind of form like an android resistance and fight the power kind of thing. Looks really, really good. Again, lots of different branching storylines, lots of options to choose kind of the way that you play. It's going to be really good, and I will say this. It's the best looking game. It was the best looking game at E3. It looks absolutely beautiful.
Fair enough.
Everything from the character models, they've obviously spent a massive amount of time on facial animations and voice syncing and all this kind of... It just looks absolutely wonderful. Beautiful game. Can't wait to play it. Very, very excited.
So if you love David Cage, you got a little more of that David Cage magic coming your way.
I would say definitely one of my top 3 games of the show.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Next, moving on to God of War.
Oh yeah,
the big IP coming to Sony's way. It looks beautiful.
I mean, last year we had a trailer, and this year we got a bit more. We actually got gameplay, didn't we? And we saw combat and stuff this year.
And a lot of it, a very generous amount of it. So it looks like Kratos has left his Roman past behind, and he's basically changed from that ethos to the Scandinavian one. And it seems it is the same guy they mentioned now in the trailers. There's like, oh, we don't like outsiders here. So obviously it's not a reboot. It's sort of like mentioning all that, and I like that. I like the whole idea of gods and mythical creatures being able to jump between
time periods. Yeah, really good. Obviously, you've got your son, I believe it is.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. A lot of gameplay footage of your son being with you, being on your back, climbing with you, things like this. So I get heavy sort of what are they called?
Like even stuff like Last of Us, like a buddy system.
A buddy system, yeah.
Whether you'll actually be able to play as the son, I don't know.
I reckon you will.
Oh, really?
You're going to use the son to crawl into little small spaces, aren't you?
Maybe.
It seems like an obvious thing to do.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know. I don't prefer that they didn't.
Yeah.
Minimalism. Do things Team Ico style.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, God of War's always been about the just over-the-top violence and sex and all that kind of stuff, and that's obviously been dialed back on this. They're taking a much more kind of subdued approach. With having your son with you and kind of trying to flesh Kratos out into a much more likeable character. Because let's be honest, he's a bit of a dick. He's kind of a one-trick horse, just all anger, very, very kind of boring. Didn't like him as a character, but this one, it's going to humanise him a lot more, I think, and make him a bit more likeable. What else? What else are we on? Got Until Dawn, yeah? Until Dawn.
So I literally completely spaced out then. Sorry. Apologies, people. We are giving you our all in a room which is basically there's goods being baked on my bed as we speak. It's as hot as an oven in here. That's what I'm getting at. So moving on, we've got, where are we?
Until Dawn. I do not even remember seeing this.
Neither do I. So let's not talk about it. Apparently, it's 60 years before Until Dawn. I don't know what it's about. Neither does Saul. Moving on.
Undertale.
Now. Yeah. Go ahead.
Did you play Undertale?
I've never played Undertale, but I always have wanted to play Undertale.
I played it for 3 minutes and I was very confused, and I thought I'm going to come back to this at another point. Never did, but now it's coming to PS4, so I'm super excited. I'm going to play it definitely all the way through, because it's by people that I respect in the industry. They called it one of the best games of last year, which is weird for like a pixel art kind of weird RPG. But from what I hear, just again, similar to Spelunky, a brilliant subversion of conventional game design mechanics.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a whole lot of playing around with what it is to use save systems and things like this. And just and you don't have to fight the enemies, do you? It's like a JRPG where you don't have to fight them. You can be friends with them, try to help them on your side.
Lots of weird stuff.
Lots of weird, as you say, subverting what you expect a game to be, which sounds lovely because we're at that point in our lives where we've seen everything, so we need to be surprised.
I've seen everything. I've seen it all.
I've seen things, man. But yeah, I didn't even know that this game was coming out, which is really bizarre because this is something that I've wanted. I mean, like, if you'd have asked me for things what I'd have wanted from the Sony conference, this would have been one of them. Or when I watched the Sony conference live, I don't remember it. I didn't see it until I wrote my notes.
I was very tired at this point as well.
Yeah, same. It was like 3:30 in the morning. But yeah, Undertale, welcome. I'm buying you. Don't worry. Don't be fucking stupidly priced though. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, 90 quid.
90 quid. 50. I'll give you 15 quid. All right, calm down. So moving on, let me see if I can catch up here.
I think next was Call of Duty.
Call of Duty World War II. Yeah, we don't play.
I'm bored of it.
Yeah, we're bored of it. Well, the only thing I will say about this, I think the wise thing for them to do here, because they've got now 3 studios pumping out Call of Duty games, so each on a cycle, so one gets released every year, etc, etc, etc. I'd hope that they'd have one studio making World War II games, and one studio still making the future games. Why not? Because it'll keep things fresh. I know people hate the future games, but if you're getting a World War II one once every 2 years, maybe it won't be so bad. I reckon they should do that. Keep changing things up, people.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a good idea, just to try and keep it as fresh as possible with when you're dealing with a 20-year-old annualized franchise. So I think, that's about as best as we're going to get.
Awesome. Moving on, we got something that I predicted. Well, not predicted, but really, really hoped would happen. And Shadow of the Colossus game I talked about last week is being remastered, rebuilt from the ground up for PlayStation 4, and it looks stunning. And yeah, man, what a great idea!
So I think this is actually more of a remake rather than a remaster.
Well, that's what I meant. By ground up, I meant this, like Resident Evil GameCube.
Yeah.
So, and this is exactly the sort of game that if they had to pick one game from the PlayStation 3 era to tear apart and build back up with the PlayStation 4's power, this is the one. You can't think of a better game, can you?
Can't marry.
Well, maybe Can't Marry. But no, in all seriousness though,
it's a great shout.
It's a grand game. It's a grand, epic, visually stunning game.
Yeah.
So I'm super looking forward to this. I'm glad that team is still making games, even though it isn't the same team, is it really? I think it is.
No, I think
some
most of them are probably there.
I'm not convinced that the main guy, the main auteur, is still. I don't know why I said that in that accent. But yeah, looking forward to this. Awesome. Moving on, we've got Monster Hunter World. We're getting a Monster Hunter game on the PlayStation 4.
I've never played a Monster Hunter game, but I'm a little interested.
I'm on board.
Interested.
Yeah, certainly Horizon Zero Dawn made me want to play one. I've heard that they're quite similar, but it's one of these franchises that I've always wanted to jump on board with, but I haven't really been able to, because in the last couple of years they've really been a very Nintendo-centric sort of 3DS sort of franchise. But I'm glad they're coming to the PlayStation 4, and as long as it reviews well, I'm going to jump on board.
Yeah, just from the brief kind of trailer that we saw, very action heavy, like I said, kind of comparisons to Horizon with big dinosaurs and all that kind of stuff.
Basically, Monster Hunter. What the game's about is you get a quest. It's a big monster out in the world. You have to go and find it, figure the way to kill it. You kill it. This big boss battle. Then you get to take something from it and create weapons, and that's basically what the game is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Horizon.
Yeah, it's Horizon. It basically is Horizon.
I'm in.
So next we've got Days Gone, the next huge Sega IP, Sony IP open world zombie apocalypse game. Looks very much like it's using the same engine as Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
The guy, because he was riding around the bike, and I was like, this looks exactly like the landscape but it looks awesome. Open world zombies done differently than you've seen before, because now it's horde, like huge hordes of them.
World War Z, isn't it?
Yeah, like World War Z, 28 days style, running towards the character. And I reckon they're going to hit the nail on the head with this. I reckon this is going to be fucking great. It looks
better
awesome.
be, because fucking Sony Bend have been making this for about 10 years.
Sony who?
Sony Bend.
What else have they made?
Siphon Filter.
Oh.
They made Uncharted Golden Abyss on the Vita. That's the last game they made was Uncharted Golden Abyss.
That is years ago.
6 to 7 years ago, something like that.
So yeah, so that's awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm totally getting this. I reckon it is going to review well. It's going to do very well. On the subject of Horizon Zero Dawn, moving on, they've announced the DLC, which we knew was coming. It's called The Frozen Wilds. Did you see this?
I did see it. I played a bit more actually Horizon a couple of weeks ago. Still chasing that platinum, and
the dragon.
Yeah, I love that game. I don't usually buy DLC, but I think I will actually buy this one. Yeah.
That all depends on what it's all about, because I want story DLC that does things a bit different than the other game. The original game does end on a cliffhanger. Hopefully it'll explore a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking at the time I was watching this that it struck me as a bunch of challenges, like a bunch of hunter challenges and things like that.
Oh, so maybe not so much story or narrative driven, but actually more like challenge maps.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, I could be wrong, but that's not really what I want. If it is that, I probably won't be jumping on board.
Yeah,
Unless there's a
I'd
second
rather
platinum.
the story, like a nice meaty bit of story.
Yes, exactly. Flesh out that cliffhanger that we got, but is that going to be waiting to the sequel? Who knows?
We will see.
So, moving on, we got Ni no Kuni 2, Reverent Kingdom, looks beautiful. JRPG in the vein of Studio Ghibli. Ghibli? So, yeah, that's, if you don't like the way that sounds, then there's something wrong with you. But the first one was amazing. It was all about a young man dealing with death. His mother,
Absolutely incredible game.
Young man dealing with the death of his mother who dies of terminal illness, and he regresses into a childhood fantasy world with a little creature that is voiced by a Welsh comedian. It was really, really weird. It was lovely. It had oodles and oodles of personality.
Very odd.
Incredibly wonderful. Definitely getting it all over it. Might even replay the first one. Yep.
Carry on. No. I was just going to say that I played the first one about 20 hours. No,
I was about to say
10 hours maybe, and loved it. But I was not in the mood for a 100-hour RPG at that point. So I put it down. But I totally appreciate what they're going for, and it was brilliant what I played. So I imagine I'll do the same with this one. Play it a little bit and then put it down. But.
And I hear that it isn't like it's set in the same world, but I don't think you have to have had to play the first one.
Okay,
which is good. Yeah, because I didn't finish.
Because nobody played the first one.
No, but nobody else played it. I remember when I first got my PlayStation 3 and I was telling people at work, I was I've got PlayStation 3 and I'm going to get Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. People are like, what the fuck is he talking about? Who the fuck is this guy? So yeah, anyway, moving on. Life is Strange is getting a prequel sequel called Before the Storm. It's a prequel sequel.
Yeah, nice. I like that. I've never heard that.
Borderlands the prequel sequel.
Let's see, now it's called the pre-sequel.
Oh, see?
I prefer the pre-sequel.
Thank you very much. So yeah, it's a sequel that's a prequel. We're going to get into the story of that woman whose story I don't know because I've not played it, but it is free this month on Sony's award-winning service, which isn't so award-winning anymore.
Life is Strange is an absolute must-play.
Is it?
Then
I believe I would.
I would give it a 9. A lot of people will give it a 10. It is very, very good. A little bit of information actually came out about this week was that the girl who voiced the main character in the first Life is Strange, I can't remember the actress's name, but the main character is called Chloe, who is, I believe, the central protagonist of the second one as well. Yeah. She's not going to be coming back to voice the same role.
No, so I've heard that's a bit weird.
Because of do you remember there was a voice actor strike in the US?
No, I didn't know about this.
So like a lot of voice actors in the gaming industry went on strike.
Okay.
And this was one of the games affected by it.
Right.
They were basically asking for better rights, better pay.
How dare they?
I know, bloody actors.
Put your hands in the spindle and pick out the cotton.
So she actually tweeted that she was devastated that she wasn't going to be able to reprise this role because she loved it.
Yeah, I did see that. Out
of no fault of her own.
No, of course, that's a shame. She doesn't want to be a scab, does she?
No.
So I believe that was
possibly now. Wait. Possibly the two biggest announcements of the entire conference.
What's that, Sol?
Knack 2.
I know. I saw that and I was like, I can't take it anymore, and then it exploded into 1,000 different pieces.
2.
I never played the first one. It was a great idea. Basically, Katamari meets
3D platforming.
Yeah, but it looked like it didn't really deliver on its promise of that too well.
There are a lot of people that hate on Knack, and I'm not going to be one of them because I've never played it. But everybody that has played Knack 2 says it's great. Which really, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm going to make my own mind up, but
it's cool.
Yeah.
It's also split screen co-op.
Yeah.
You can come round.
That's good.
We can get a vegan roast on.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
You're going to come with your
I'll cut you a vegan roast.
Lovely.
Yeah.
How do you make them?
I've no idea. That's what Google's there for.
There's grass in it.
There's grass.
It's grass in it.
It's just grass.
A rock. Sprinkle a nice bit of grass on it.
Rocks have feelings, you can't eat rocks.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Of course, yeah.
You've never seen Return to Oz. Those rocks could talk, dude.
The sequel to...
You've never seen Return to Oz. It's the best. It's the best from ever. Go and watch Return to Oz now. If you ever wonder why I'm so weird, go and watch that. Because that's the film I grew up on.
Explain a lot with it.
Yeah, it will.
All right.
Yeah.
I might do. I'm not going to promise you should.
Do as I say, so.
There's other films I'd rather watch.
Like what?
Commando, Predator, most just based on the Arnie back catalogue.
Fair enough, you do that. Fine. If you don't want to understand me as a person, as a potential partner, then fine.
Should we spend far too much time together as it is?
And closing out this year's slightly disappointing, but nevertheless still pretty good Sony conference was the long-awaited Spider-Man game. What are your thoughts on?
I am really looking forward to this game. Looking forward to this game. I loved the old Spider-Man games, like on the GameCube and the PS2, which is exactly what it looks like they're going for with this one. I really like the story choices that they're making. Like, I was reading that a lot of the game is actually going to be focused on Peter Parker and not Spider-Man, so, you know, what that means, I'm not sure, but it's not all going to be web-slinging and swinging through the city, that kind of stuff. You know, like, they're saying that the view that they're taking with this one is that he's an experienced Spider-Man. He's been doing this for like 8 or 9 years now, so like he knows what he's doing. He's got like his power-ups. He's not having to do like the tutorials and all that kind of stuff, really. Like he knows what he's doing. And I think that's really exciting to be given that kind of, maybe not given the whole skill tree from the start, but just to, I think he's gonna feel powerful. I think he's gonna feel good to play as.
He's gonna get Samus Aran, isn't he? He's gonna start off powerful and lose all of his powers.
I can see that being
that happens,
a trope that they
such a wizard.
I know. But we'll see. Like that aside, Insomniac, the guys making it, great developer. This is what they do really well: is these big open world games, bit tongue in cheek, don't take themselves too seriously. And again, I think that suits Spider-Man perfectly.
Yeah, that's good. Spider-Man games have been kind of on their ass for the last couple of years. The first one on the PlayStation 1, I mean, obviously not the first one, but the first one I remember on the PlayStation 1 was kind of a big deal. Towards the end of the PlayStation 1's lifespan in 2001, used to sell the final iteration of the PlayStation 1, actually spelled W-N. Yeah. O-N.
O-N-E.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Don't give me shit. So yeah, that was kind of a nice experience at the time, and then they moved on to the PlayStation 2 iteration of Spider-Man, and that was literally the gold standard of the Spider-Man games for many years. And then shit just went down the pan. So hopefully this will be a return to form. From what I've seen from this trailer, it looks a lot like, as you said, the PlayStation 2 era one, with a lot more relish, a lot more garnish.
Yeah.
A lot more pizzazz. This game looks beautiful, doesn't it?
It does look absolutely stunning. Like, they're obviously taking cues from the Arkham games, like Batman, like that kind of it looks to be the style of combat that they're going for. I really like it. I trust Insomniac, and I can't wait to see what it turns out to be like.
Sick. Anyway, I believe that actually rounds it up, but you said 2 games. What is this other game?
Well, there was a game that wasn't at the conference.
Exactly, I wanted to bring this up.
You bring it up.
I will do. A game that was announced as far back as when PlayStation 4 first came out. It was at that E3. A game called Dream. Do you remember this magical looking game? Yeah, basically they touted it as like you could create your own game, and it showed a weird looking 3D model where you just sculpted things out of plasticine. Then it went on to the year after that, they showed it again, and it wasn't like a weird plasticine guy, it was spaceships, and it was like you could do anything you want. Whatever your dreams, desire, we can do this. And it's going to be like you can upload things onto the online, and then you can download other people's levels, and basically it looks like Little Big Planet, but you know what, now I'm starting to think it looks like
shit.
No Man's Sky. Hey. But they've had the common decency not to release it.
Yeah.
Because it was nowhere to be seen. It was very, very conspicuous by its absence this year.
Yeah.
And it looked far too what's the word? Finish sentence. Far too ambitious. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think the game, when they first showed it, it was much more of like a creation tool.
Yeah.
It didn't look like there was actually any game in there at all.
No.
And people have been worried about it for a little while, and I think now that it didn't even show at E3, maybe there's some rumours that it's even been just canned and cancelled.
Yeah. What were you thinking, man? Because I saw this game and it looked great, but I mean, it's like you can't do it.
Sell it.
You can't do it.
Sell. You're not going to sell. We'll see. The only thing, if I was head of Media Molecule, I would be like, right, we're going to release streams in a week. We're just going to cut our losses, and I would make it a VR.
Media Molecule?
Yeah.
Is this a Peter Molyneux game?
No.
Alright.
No.
I think it was.
I would just make it VR exclusive. Try and use it to sell some VR units.
That'd work.
You know, you see what I'm saying?
Sculpting chill.
Yeah. I think that's the best that they're going to get out of Dreams.
When I saw it originally, I was like, this looks cool as fuck, but I've not got the creative chops, artistically, to do this, so I wouldn't put it in the first place. But it looks awesome. It looked like something like the more arty types out there would enjoy. But yeah, it's not happening. It's not been cancelled officially, don't take my word for that, but come on, people. Let's have a real sit down meeting here and talk about it. It's not happening.
I mean, like, they might... Let's say this, like, if they show it again at E3 next year, then what? Does that mean it's still like another year out?
PS5?
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe the world wasn't ready for it in the first place. But anyway, that was Sony's conference. How are we ranking that? I've already thought about this. I'm looking back over my notes, and it was a strong conference. It was first party IPs. I'm sounding like that's all that matters to me, but it's not. But I'm looking back at all this. It's strong as hell. I'm giving it 9 out of 10. I'm not giving it 10 out of 10 because there wasn't no dream-breaking, groundbreaker, and it just wasn't quite as strong as the other 2 years.
Yeah, I think out of all of them, it was probably the strongest that we've talked about so far. I'm going to give it an 8. Like you said, no huge, big standout moments, but I enjoyed it. It was good. It was a solid conference. A few nice little surprises in there, but nothing major.
Don't put it on at 4 in the morning again.
No.
Oh, moving on. I'm going to take the pants off for this one. Don't take the piss, mate.
Now we are getting really sweaty.
Yeah, man. Woo! As we both become delirious from dehydration and heat efforts, we are talking about the final conference. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Crackheads.
It's not the final conference. We've missed one.
We're going to get to that. But Nintendo!
Yay! And what did they have then?
Oh, they have loads of good stuff. First, let me say, welcome back, Nintendo. You've not been at E3 for years now, and when you were there, it was a little shitty. Nintendo Directs, not they were a little shitty, they were adorable, but they weren't really games conferences, were they? But they're here with, it was a small games conference, it was only about half an hour long, wasn't it?
Did they not do Directs again?
No, it was
I hallucinating at this point?
I swear it was, you could be right now for all I know, you could be a figment of my imagination. But they, this was a proper conference, I'm sure it was.
Fucking hell.
I don't know. Fuck it. Let's just go through the games that they showed, though. But basically, you got to understand, as all this stuff we've talked about, we watched, so we've taken a lot in, so we may become confused. But anyway, back on track. Super Mario Odyssey. Hi. Yes. It's real. It looks awesome. It looks sick.
Yes. I'm gonna say that this was my game of show. Like
I can see why.
This game looks so fucking good. It looks stupid as hell, man. You know, you throw the main mechanic of it is throwing a hat at stuff and then you become the frog or whatever, you know.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ, you throw your hat at the human and he's like, oh God, help me!
So give him back hats. Give him back
hats. And human suffering.
Yeah. Right up my street. Cannot wait.
It looks sick. It looks like it's made by Nintendo's A team. It looks like it could be the next fucking Mario Galaxy in the world.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be going for that Mario Galaxy crown. I really hope it's going to be the same kind of quality as Zelda. There's no reason why it shouldn't be. Like you said, it's their A team. Really good. I don't want to say anything else really about it because I don't want to spoil it in my own mind. But really looking forward to it. And if it is great, then that is 100% the thing that will make me go out and buy a Switch. Day one, if Mario's that good.
OG, day one! Sweet, yeah, cool. I should have the Argos card cleared by Christmas, so well looking good.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Looks disappointing. I played the original on the Wii U. I didn't quite get into it. It had a really complicated combat system, which really confused me. But it had loads of lovely ideas, and I really wish I could have gotten into it, but it was just beyond me. But this did nothing at all to drag me back in. I thought it looked very flat. It looked incredibly typical of a JRPG. It looked like it didn't even have its own identity, if you ask me.
I know nothing about this game at all, so I am going to stay silent for the rest of this little bit.
It's about Earth gets attacked by loads of robots. Everyone flees on a big ship, crashes on another planet. That is, Blade Chronicles X, and this is the sequel to that, I believe. It's set thousands of years after those settlers. They're all kind of linked.
Sounds very
but not very standard JRPGs, but they're all kind of linked. So I like that kind of, you can get into like the world building, but they're not linked in a way that you have to have played any of the other games. Okay. So that's kind of cool. But as I say, it looks so generic. So yeah, not interested really.
Not bothered.
Moving on, Kirby looks just like a Kirby game, but with 4-player support. So that's nice. That's a thing. I've played a Kirby game for the Game Boy. That was nice.
Yeah, I think that was the last one I played.
That was a good one, wasn't it?
But other than that,
yeah,
Kirby's kind of like that outlying, kind of on the fringe Nintendo mascot that people say they like, but they don't really care about.
I think not having one in the limelight in the N64 era really hurt it.
Yeah, true. Good point. Nice point.
I think that is why. Nice point. Well burped. So yeah, I reckon that's what really slowed the wheels down on Kirby in the West. Kirby in the West. Na, 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 na. Moving on, we've got. Everybody sit down. I hope you sat down. If you're driving, pull over safely. Pull over safely. We don't want to cause an accident. You pulled over? Good. It's happening, people. A game that people have wanted for years. They are finally making a mainline console Pokemon RPG.
This is probably the biggest news of the conference, do you
think?
Well,
after Beyond Good and Evil 2, I mean, they showed footage about this, because this was very blasé. Oh, by the way, we're making a mainline Switch, but that was it.
That's
but if they actually announced it with a thingy, like a proper trailer and things like that, it would be, at least it'd be up there, because actually this is a unicorn game as well.
Yeah, 100%.
So this would be easily as up there with Beyond Good and Evil 2, but the blasé way in which they announced it sort of really... Just Nintendo. Nintendo smoking that crack. That's that thing you really want. We're having that, yeah.
Come on, game over here.
But yeah, super psyched about this. This is awesome. And the Switch, I can see why they've waited, because it's portable. And Pokemon is all about fighting with friends, trading, and this, that, and the other. But I can't wait. I hope it is what I'm thinking it is, and what you're thinking it is, and what we're assuming it is. But I've got no reason to. Everyone seems to be thinking the same thing. We're all saying mainline console, Pokemon RPG. So.
Yeah, very excited, but. We know nothing about it, so again, let's just wait. Let's chill our boots.
It's years away, basically. Yeah. It's years away. And then next we've got Metroid 4. Again, it's not a unicorn game, but it's a game people have wanted for many years. I've just recently started to play the original Metroid on GameCube, and I think it's fantastic. I'm probably going to finish it and play the other ones. If I do get a Switch, it's definitely a game I would be interested in getting. So yeah, Nintendo's first party lineup is looking stronger and stronger.
Yeah. The only thing I will say about that is that all it said at the end of the trailer was in development, which means that it might have drawn a couple of pictures. So again, 4 years out, maybe 3, possibly. Who knows?
But yeah, you got it. Stop popping on there. You've got a Metroid 4 countdown. So next, moving on, a game that is simply called Yoshi. Kirby was called Kirby. Yoshi is called Yoshi.
We missed another Metroid game.
Oh yeah.
2 Metroid games, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was another Metroid game coming out for the 3DS, which had a proper name, but I can't remember what it is.
I will say that's really smart, actually, because there's 2 branches of Metroid, right? You've got the 3D shooters and you've got the side-scrollers. And you're going to get both of them, so everybody's happy. So,
everyone's happy. So that's going to be in the vein of the SNES and the NES ones, and the one on the Switch is going to be in the vein of the GameCube ones and the Wii ones. So that's lovely. So moving on to Yoshi, it's a Yoshi game. It looks just like all the other Yoshi games. The gimmick on this one seems to be cardboard, because every Yoshi seems to have a gimmick related to arts and crafts, which is a bit interesting. Soul doesn't care. I don't mind. My mum was Yoshi. Maybe we'll get her involved. I don't know. But yeah, I'm probably not going to buy it. I mean, if Nintendo started to put the games on sale like they do on PlayStation, you get cracking games for £6 now, £10. Nintendo, that never happens. The lowest you'll get is £20 after a couple of years, and it's shit really, and it stops people from getting into the products a lot, and it certainly stops me from playing Yoshi and Kirby, because I'm never playing more than fucking a tenner for these games. But hey ho, there it is. That's not a knock on the quality of these games, because they are Nintendo, they are magical, awesome stuff. Moving on, we've got Breath of the Wild's DLC out June the 30th, which is my birthday. Please do mark it in your calendars. So this is the first time that I believe that Nintendo have ever done paid DLC. This is the first venture and first foray into the market. They're doing 2 pieces.
Here's a question.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. Could you class Amiibos as DLC?
I see what you mean. It's an interesting point, but no. Yeah, I understand what you mean, because the bits of extra content that you need to buy separately to unlock content in the game, technically, in a way, they are DLC. But I wouldn't class that though.
Somebody should really give me a job doing this shit.
Yeah, someone should give both of us a job.
I know.
And if you when you finally get hired, when you finally get hired, I'm riding your coattails. You take them away. That's awesome. When I finally get a Switch, I'm going to get the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Game of the Year edition, which gets all of that. And I don't know why I said it in such a wanky way then. But moving on. Ending kind of weekly here, but it's a nice bit of news. Rocket League is coming to the Switch. That's nice, isn't it?
Again,
people like that game.
It's a game that's perfectly suited for the Switch, all about multiplayer, playing with friends, really fast-paced, perfect for a game that you can play on the move. It's a no-brainer.
Play on the move, 2 hours.
Yeah. No-brainer.
No, but sort your battery life out, man.
So what do you reckon, Nintendo, out of 10?
8. I'm going to go with an 8. I'm going to go with 8 crack pipes out of 10.
8, because of Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
Being Game Show. 8.
Strong.
Good job, Nintendo. Good fucking job.
We've got 2 strong announcements, but 2 weekly delivered strong announcements, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
In Metroid 4 and Pokemon Mainline RPG.
Yep.
But yeah, fine. Glad to see them back. I'm definitely going to get a Switch at some point. I'm waiting and biding my time like an ambush predator.
Yeah, so, I'll wait for a bundle when also I have some money. That would be nice. Anything else that happened at E3?
Unfortunately, the PC Gaming Conference was actually cancelled.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
which was a shame because nobody plays PC games.
So never mind about that. Oh no, there was one very big announcement. Actually, this might be the best announcement to come out of E3. Is that Age of Empires is being remastered. So spending £1,500 on a brand new spanking PC with a mint graphics card, and you get to play Age of Empires. Well done.
Is it going to come out on the consoles as well?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's a shit.
But there is actually one conference we've forgotten about.
There is one thing that I was going to bring up, and I want you all to go check out the conference that we didn't mention yet, and that is the Devolver Digital's conference. Basically, we're not going to talk too much about it. We want you to go and Google it now and watch it. It's about 20 minutes long. Devolver Digital are a small little indie developer. They do awesome games.
Publisher. They're the publisher. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, they publish awesome games like they did Fast. What was the last one they did?
Like Hotline Miami. Like they have a hell of a lot of games actually that they're starting to publish. Some great, some like average.
But a lot of today's greatest indie games are by them.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, go check the conference out. A woman's head explodes.
Yeah,
she has a bit of a nosebleed and then a fucking head explodes.
That was my favourite part of E3. Not the head exploding, but that conference for me won E3.
Yeah,
it is a breath of fresh air into the stale corporate speak that we had in
it was much needed. So yeah, bit of satire on the entire industry and E3 itself.
I'd say more than satire. Like satire, it was a brutal attack on the way that other companies operate. But I'm going to say no more.
Watch it. Check it out.
Watch it. Well,
I guess that's it.
That's it for E3.
Did you play that PC yet from last week?
No, I didn't.
Do it next week then.
No.
But do it.
I'm scared.
I'm scared for you too. But you shouldn't have bought it then.
Well,
it's like, why would you buy the Necronomicon and not open it?
It's £3 that won it.
Oh, you weren't thinking.
I wasn't.
Oh, just burn it or something.
It was just I was excited, man. It was
burn it in the ghosts of young children before.
So I mean, like,
terrible.
Really quickly, like, what are your thoughts about E3 this year?
It was good. Well, I was a bit disappointed, but I don't know why. Because I mean, looking back at it as a whole, there's a lot of really, really good stuff there. Maybe it was just the mental illness playing up. I don't know.
I think we've been spoiled the last 2 years before that.
Yes, but I think this year was pretty good though.
It was good, yeah. Especially, we got a brand new piece of hardware with the Scorpio, and we got some really good games announced. Well, yeah, all right, yeah. So no, I was happy. Like I said, really solid showing from pretty much everybody. There was nobody that gave a bad conference, I would say. But for me, Devolver was the best, so definitely go check that out.
Devolver Digital win the conference. And go check them out.
Yeah. So, I think we're done.
I'm fucking certainly done. Look at me. I'm gonna take a picture of my face and I'm gonna post it with the same with the this week's episode.
Yeah. It's been horrible this week. I'll tell you that much. It's been absolutely horrible recording this week. I'm just sweating.
We've recorded this on as just the hottest. I'm rambling because it's the hottest motherfucker of the year. The winners are shut. We are pissing sweat, and this is twice as long as we've ever done a recording.
But right, let's call it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, Thank you very much for joining us for the Safe State Gaming episode 12. Hope you've enjoyed it. This has been our E3 27 roundup episode. Let us know what you think in the comments, if you've got any different opinions, if you don't care, or if you just want to be vile and abusive like most people on the internet are, then please do let us know. Anything to add?
No, not at all. Thank you for joining us. We had a lot of fun today. We really did suffer for our art to bring you this episode. So please do follow us on Twitter at Safe State Gaming Podcast.
Yep.
At Twitter.
My name's Saul. You can catch me on Twitter at My Name Is Saul.
I'm Richard Hornby, and personally I want to be left very much alone. But thank you for joining us.
And have a good week. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks to the following artists for providing music for episode 12, because there was a hell of a lot of it this episode. So thanks to Tom Hannay. A big thanks to Joakim Karud for providing about 50% of the music. Also thanks to Silent Partner, Urban Traffic, Joey Pecoraro, Deep Water, G, Techno Axe, Artificial Music, Lowercase, David Wood, Otis McDonald, Compass, and 3 Chain Links. Thank you very, very much.